So we're going to do some more practice problems. I've been hearing that students have had a little bit of trouble with some of these problems. It's partly understandable and partly it comes down to you've got to follow the directions for each of the pieces. You've got to understand the formula and you've got to be able to plug it in right. So I want to kind of address some of those things here. We're going to use real life data. So this is what people are really getting charged and paying, particularly in Tennessee across the state. So we're going to use that. We're not going to look at this yet, though. First thing we're going to do is go to, you're going to go to Desmos. So you are going to do this at the same time as I'm doing it. And I'm going to ask questions that check you that make sure that you're doing that. You're going to go and log in, and you're going to log in with your Google account. And that's number one, right? So go do that. Next thing is you're just going to click on the graphing calculator, and you're going to see normal graphing calculator. You're going to see where it says untitled graph and a save button. And you're going to click where it's untitled, I guess, where it says save. And you're going to rename it Tennessee mortgage loans, which is kind of redundant. Mortgage means a loan, but whatever. And that's the first thing that you're going to do, or second thing that you're going to do. The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to play around with some of this stuff. So I can write letters in here, but notice how they look italicized. I can either click note, or I can hit the quote button on my keyboard, and it turns into, you can see how they both are notes. That's going to allow me to just type words, and I'm going to write mortgage payment formula here just for the heck of it. And down here, we're going to start typing in that formula that is on page 64. So you can literally pause and copy it, but I'm going to type it exactly how I want you guys to type it. At this step, I'm going to hit the slash button, or you can go down here and find the divide sign, and it'll also give you a fraction. In that fraction, I'm going to type r times 1 plus r, that's not an r, to the n power. And on the bottom, I'm going to type 1 plus r to the n minus 1. And that's just so that we have the formula typed out perfectly. Next thing I want you to do is copy this. And what we're going to do now is replace this with some information. And I'm going to put the information right here. And right, what have I done? I've typed some words in here. Yours doesn't need to have that. What you need to do is now translate this information into these letters, right? You need to transfer this information into these letters. And honestly, we don't actually need the A, but whatever, it should be fine. So think about it for a second, try typing it on your own, and then check your work against mine. So here we see that if somebody borrowed $150,000 for 6% interest compounded monthly, so that would be 30 years times 12, 30 years times 12, their payment would be $899.33, because we got to round it, per month, right? That's what we figured out. So here's the deal, right? If your number isn't exactly this whole number, then you've not typed this formula in correctly. And that is what you need to do. I need you to be able to type this in correctly every time. So that's the first example. We're going to do another example. So next example is coming up. Here's a new example. And you can just write over the other numbers, or you can recopy this however you want. And right now it says 11% compounded monthly for 30 years. Original amount borrowed is 220,000. All right, so yeah, pause the video, type it in, and let me know if you get what I get. We have 11% compounded monthly for 30 years. borrowing a little bit more than last time, 70,000 more than last time. And man, that interest, because it's so high, really affects this loan, right? And so that's a $2,095.11 payment. That's pretty high. All right, same thing. We're gonna keep going. I'm gonna give you another problem. I just want to make sure you got it. Here's the new example. So get that typed in, do it completely. This one, I think I'm gonna have you submit your answer before I show you even it plugged in. So make sure you get it correct. At this point, if you're still confused, right, you really need to go back to page 60 and rewatch that whole lesson video carefully. All right, that's the reality. Well, look, this is a lot more than the last example, right? The last example, I think was 220,000. This one's 350,000. And what do we see? We see that it's like $400 less in payment. And why is that? Well, it's because of this interest rate. The interest rate is low. Low interest rates mean an easier time paying this loan off. All right, notice this is the reverse. I'm giving you the whole formula, and I want you to tell me now, what is the rate? What is the compounding, payment, although it's like right there, and the amount borrowed. So you should be able to look at this formula and be able to tell me that, as well as the length of the loan. Right, and to do that, we look here for the amount borrowed, here for the interest rate, here for the compounding, and then 360 divided by 12 tells us that it's the loan is 30 years, right? Cool. All right, we're going to do one more like this. And here is the next one. And this one, which is the fifth problem, I want you to tell me the same things, but notice that I've blacked out the monthly payment. So you're gonna have to type this in also and make sure that you can do all of the steps. Once you've done that, then you're in good shape. And that tells me that you're ready to continue for the next part of this problem. Right, and there is the reveal. So that's the payment, 3.34%, 15 years, $175,000 borrowed. Okay, so that's the information that I wanted you guys to be able to do. I think I said that was problem 5. That was a lie. It's problem 6. Oops. No, that was 5. Anyhow, all right, so now on to the actual main event, so to speak. So what do I want in this Desmos screen? I want to see that up top. Make sure it's saved. And then to do this next thing, we're going to need to have 3 formulas. You can see I'm just hitting enter, right? Loan A, loan B, loan C. And if you want to be really clever, you actually can add folders and call it loan C in the folder if you don't want to do. Yeah, it'd probably be helpful for me to be clear about it. Yeah, folders if you can figure this out, which you should be able to. So folder, loan A, loan B, loan C. In that folder, I want you to copy this formula. So you can see I'm just hitting enter, copying it. You can see that I can close those folders up and it looks, nice, right? That's going to come in handy for when you, yeah, ignore that. For when you start doing this next part of the problem. I'll share the screen in the shared screen during class, but go and pause, like literally pause and read this whole thing. All right, read the whole thing. Right, you can see that this belongs to your Tennessee mortgage loans, Desmos. You've got the down payment here, the loan amount here, the interest rate here. First questions ask about down payment, and you're probably gonna misunderstand it. Keep in mind that I'm telling you the loan amount. I'm telling you the loan amount already. So you're not going to subtract the down payment because I've already told you the loan amount. If this is the loan amount, what would the down payment have to have been, right? That's really a question one asks. Question two asks you to find the monthly payment. So plug this information in for loan A, which is information here, loan B, and loan C, right? Down payment, loan amount, interest rate. All right. So you're going to go back into Desmos and you're going to go to this kind of piece. In fact, why don't we call this B and C for each of the loans? That'll be less confusing. Loan A, loan B, loan C. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to now fill this information in, right? So what is the loan amount for loan A? The loan amount is $300,000. What is the interest rate going to be? Well, it's 0.03514. All of these compounded monthly because we're talking about this type of loan, 3.03514. All right, I think I've written that there. How many years is this loan? Well, it tells us in the title of the loan it's a 30-year loan. So we're going to write 30 years and it's times 12. And so of course that gives us 360. And over here, that rate again. So that is the answer to question 2, right? The answer to question 2, or another way to say it, right? The loan payment is 1349.48. Notice it says 479. I'm writing 48 because I've rounded it to the nearest penny correctly each month for loan A.